Okay, so act one, scene 4. As you can see by the stage direction, we're with Romeo, Benvolio, some other guys, some of his friends, and a new character named Mercutio, who we haven't met before. Mercutio, like Mercury, same word origin. He means very quicksilver, very very fast, very changing. So who's Mercutio? I'll just tell you now. If you remember from The Illiterate Servant that Romeo read the letter for, Mercutio was on the guest list. Mercutio is related to the prince and related to Paris. And I haven't told you, Paris is related to the prince. So Mercutio is somehow part of the royal family. So he's one of Romeo's friends. He's his best friend. He's in, as you young people would say, Romeo's squad. And they're just having a good time on their way to the party. So here we go.
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
The date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crow keeper.
So we'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, hoodwinked, blinded, or tricked. Hey, we're going to go to this party, and we will not have Cupid tricked with a scarf, so he can't see, which means he can shoot people at random. No one here is going to go to this party and fall in love, okay? That's not the part. That's not the point.
No, without book prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Alright, that's a very teenage boy thing to say. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone. Let them judge us as they will. Like, oh, he's cute, he's hot, he's interesting. And we'll measure them a measure and be gone. And we're going to do the same for them. So we're going to show up, check out the girls, and then we're going to leave. No one here is falling in love.
Give me a torch. I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
So that's actually a very, very clever pun, which no one seems to like but me. Give me the torch. Remember, they're at night, they're walking around, give me the torch. I'm not for this ambling. Ambling means having a good time. Being but heavy, I will bear the light. There's the pun there. So heavy, if you remember, means sadness. Romeo was mute up in his sadness. Being but heavy, being but sad, I will bear the light. The light is the pun. So light is literally the torch. It's the opposite of heavy. But if I'm heavy, I'm sad, what's the opposite of being heavy? To be happy. To be light. So it's actually a very clever pun, which no one cares about except me. Here we go.
Hey, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a sword of lead so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
Another very good pun, which no one cares about. You need to dance, Romeo? No. You have shoes with nimble soles. So sole is like the bottom of your foot. I have a soul of lead, so the pun is soles, which stakes me to the ground I cannot move. So your dancing soles are nimble. My emotional soul is heavy, so I cannot move. Yeah, that's fairly clever.
You were a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
A lot of what's going to happen here, and I'm not going to cover all of it, is the bantering of Romeo and his friends, where they just go back and forth with saying something witty and saying something clever. They try to get one up on each other with insults. I'll do a little bit of it whenever it's relevant, but some of it you kind of lose in the idioms. But this is a very clever line. Oh, you're staked to the ground? Well, you're a lover, so borrow Cupid's wings, and you can fly with them. Oh, so he's like making a comeback to that.
And to soar and pierce it with his shaft, to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
That last line, under love's heavy burden do I sink, it should be I sink under love's heavy burden. But when Mercutio says, oh, borrow Cupid's wings, oh, I'm too sore and pierced with his shaft. I already was pierced with his shaft. He already shot me, and I'm already too sore from it. So, like, I can't fly. So that's a fairly clever comeback.
To sink in it, should you burden love? Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like a thorn.
Love pricks like a thorn. A nice simile there. Love hurts. That's an old cliche. There's even a famous ballad from the 80s. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah, same idea. So yeah, love is rough, says Romeo. And Mercutio says,
Love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down.
so yeah, if love is going to be rough with you, you be rough with it. I think he means like relationships. Oh, these girls don't care about you, well, don't care about the girls. Like, I don't know, have fun.
Give me a case to put my visage in. A visor for a visor. What care I, what curious eye doth quote deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
So, give me a visor. They're going to a masquerade party. That's where they wear masks. Normally they cover the top halves of their faces. You've seen this in other thing, a masquerade ball.
Knock and enter. And no sooner in, but every man be taken to his legs.
No sooner in, but every man be take to his legs. So whenever we get to this party, everyone take to your legs, get to the dancing, get to the fun.
Which for me, let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverb with a grandsire phrase, I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair and I am done.
The game was never so fair and I am done. I'll be a candle holder. I'll be like, you know, when you see, I think they're called sconces in a medieval movie or video game where there's a candle or a torch on the wall in a diagonal way. I'll be the candle holder. I'll be that. I'll be just on the wall looking around. Modern way of saying this is a wallflower.
Tut, done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of this Sir Reverence love, wherein thou stickest up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, ho!
Come on, we're burning daylight. People still say that. Hey, we're running out of time. Now, it's actually already night, so when he says we're burning daylight, he means we're burning the torches. Like, we're going to be out of torchlight soon, and then we're going to walk around in the dark. Like, for you're complaining.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay, we waste our lights in vain, like lamps by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that, ere once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
So did I.
Well, what was yours?
The dreamers often lie.
In bed, asleep, while they do dream things true.
Again, I think this is another good pun. So they're bantering and they're kind of saying nonsense. And Romeo says, I dreamt a dream tonight. What was yours? And Mercutio's comeback is, yeah, I dream that dreamers often lie. Implying that Romeo is the dreamer and he's lying to them, like about his sorrow. And then Romeo's comeback, yeah, they lie in bed while they do dream things true. So lies is the pun here. Lie as in to not tell the truth, and lie as in to lie down. But it's clever, but you have to like puns. Now Mercutio is going to go into this long rambling speech, which partially it's huge. It's the longest thing we've seen so far, which is partially nonsense and partially a rant. So I'm just going to explain it before it happens, so while it's happening, you're not like, what's going on, dude? So the whole first half of this, he's going to talk about a character called Queen Mab, who's like the Tooth Fairy, who visits people while they sleep. And he's going to describe what she looks like, what her wagon looks like. And then he's going to talk about all the things she does as she flies over people. Or flies through people's bedrooms, and the things she does to them, or gives them, makes them think or makes them dream of. Some of these are dirty jokes, and some of these are like social commentary of the day, which for us aren't, it's not like relevant how Shakespeare and the common people of the day felt about Parsons. That's really not relevant. So a lot of this stuff would have been way more important to the people of the day and not really important to us. But I'll just let it play and then we'll talk. Maybe I'll stop and insert some things, but I'm pretty much just going to let it play.
Then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner, a small grey-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time out of mind the fairies' coachmakers, and in this state she gallops, night by night.
So yeah, that's just the way she looks. That's it.
Through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or courtiers' knees, that dream on curtsy straight. Or lawyers' fingers, who straight dream on fees. Or ladies' lips, who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting of foreign throats, of breaches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then, anon, drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf-locks in foul, sluttish hairs, which once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkst of nothing.
Okay, and then he starts to go on a rant, and Romeo stops him. Peace, you talk of nothing, which is true. So there's some dirty jokes and kind of stuff thrown in there. This is the hag when maids lie on their backs. It's kind of the same joke as last scene. Women laying on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear. Bear as in bear children. Making them women of good carriage. So good carriage, they carry well, carry a baby well. So he starts to go into a rant, and then Romeo's like, peace, thou talkst of nothing. You're talking of nothing, dude. Then Mercutio says,
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain.
Yeah, I talk about dreams, because I'm a dreamer like you, which I'm talking about nonsense, because you're talking about nonsense.
Nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered, puffs away from thence, turning his side to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
This wind you blows us from ourselves, like we're being blown off course, like we're sailboats for this nonsense. Supper is done, and we shall come too late. Yeah, people will be done eating. The party's almost over, dude.
Yeah, too early. For my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels and
This is very important. So Romeo is foreshadowing. Maybe he's being serious, maybe he's not being serious. So I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars. There's some consequence, some bad thing, hanging in the stars. Stars, fate, destiny. Shall bitterly begin his fearful date. And whatever that is will start tonight.
by the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail on, lusty gentlemen, strike drum.
So something I forgot to mention, there is a fair chance that the boys, the teenagers in this group are maybe not sober. Maybe they are. Maybe they are not. Who knows? Yeah, direct my sail. Fine. You be the wind. You blow us where we need to go. And that's the end of the scene. See you next one.